So for today, we are going to do a little bit of a comparison between the Suntour suspension seat post and the DJC suspension seat post, which is a similar style, so stick around. Well, hello again, Internet. Welcome back to the channel. Yep, we're going to take a look at these two comparable seat posts, and I'll give you my thoughts on it, and then maybe you can decide which one you feel like is going to be right for you. Now, the Suntour seat post, that's kind of the tried and true, kind of the industry standard. There's some others that are much more expensive out there that I've frankly not tried, but I have used the Suntour. And it does pretty well when you're out on cruising greenways and stuff like that. It's not the game changer that I hear everybody talking about, for me anyway. But I had the opportunity. I got a good deal on a DJC suspension post, and it's very similar. So I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and try them out. So I got it in, and I guess I've put maybe 40 or 50 miles on the DJC post, but I find the two of them very compatible. So let's take a look at them here individually. I'll tell you, the Suntour post is about $93 or $94. Sometimes you can get it a little cheaper than that. Sometimes you can't get it quite that cheap. The DJC post is, I believe it's $66, and that seems to be the price that I see it running at pretty consistently. They both come in 27.2 size. For your other sizes, you need to put shims in them. But let's go ahead and take a look at them individually. Okay, so we're going to talk about how the seat goes on with the DJC seat post here. I had mentioned I didn't think it was as convenient as the other one. I'm not so sure it's not. What you've got is a little cam lock system here. And you can just take the bottom half, or the top half, of your roller pieces, drop it into place, and then that cam comes down. And you can lock it into place right there. Now, I can pitch it to and fro as needed while I'm locking this down. Where is a wrench when you need one? Oh, here is one right here. But then you can go ahead and just tighten it up. Of course, you can slide it backwards and forward. And while it's on the bike, so, you know, you can kind of line up, hey, that looks pretty good, or I need to tip it a little bit forward. You can just loosen that one bolt up a little bit, tip it forward. So the convenience factor for putting it on is actually a little better than I thought before I actually got it. So there's that. Once you've got it on here, the way that this works, if you look, is it does come down and back a little bit. There is, I have a really long shim in there. But you can see you do have marks along the back here to, you know where to put your post at on maybe different bikes. I run that a little differently on this bike than I do on my Trek bike. I run this a little different than I do that other seat post because the seat that is on this one right here. But as a comparison, we'll take the Suntour here. It also has a minimum height mark, but it does not have any additional marks on the Suntour post here. It slides down locks in. And you'll see it does the same thing. I have this one set just a hair stiffer than the other one. Both of these have an adjustment, a preload adjustment down here on the bottom. You can just wind it in to stiffen it up, wind it out to loosen up, soften up the suspension on this. Now the Suntour post, to put it on. Well, you've got your two cams on the side right here. It does have a bit of a convenience factor in that you loosen these up from the side. And then you just snug them up. And I believe we're, on that side. And you snug them up. Now I can take a look at it. And it's actually probably pretty close to the level that I would want it at. If it's not, I can pitch it up just a little bit. There we go. And I can take a look there. That's right where I'm going to want it. And you can just tighten these up from the side. But overall, they're mostly similar, with the exception of how the saddle comes on. I'm going to say the Suntour is a little bit more convenient. You do have to pay a little more for that convenience. So there you go. So what's my final thoughts on this? Well, let's take a look at them here, the advantages and disadvantages. With the Suntour, you've got, I consider the main advantage on the Suntour is the way that seat goes on. Very, very easy to change your seat or adjust your seat. That's got to be a big plus right there. Of course, you've got the name Suntour. It does bring some reliability with it, so there's that. You've got a dust cover that goes over top of it, and it does seem to work pretty well. You've got preload adjustment on it and everything. The DJC, how about it? Well, I got to tell you, the way you put the seat on, while not quite as convenient as the Suntour, is a lot nicer than what I thought it was going to be before I got it. You've also got the markings on the back. So if you're putting this on several different bikes, they come in 27.2 size, and any other size that you buy, they just come with a shim with them. But you can get shims for as many bikes as you want and put them in there. I think the Suntour is actually the same way. It's 27.2. They may have two different sizes on the Suntour, but if you go with a 27.2 and get a shim, you're good for all of your bikes. The DJC does not have a dust cover on it like the Suntour, but it does have a dust cap over top of the piston. So I don't think dirt is going to be any kind of a problem with that. And of course, you've got the one big advantage with the DJC, and that is the price. It's only about 2/3 the cost of the Suntour. So there you go. I can tell you, I didn't notice much of a difference between the quality of the suspension on the two of them, nor the quality of construction on the two of them. So I will leave it up to you guys to kind of pick out what you think would be best for you. There's links down below that you can take a look at either one of them, and yeah, go take a look at them if you'd like. All that being said, hey, if you like this, make sure if you're not a subscriber, you hit that subscribe, maybe hit that bell so that you'll know when new videos come out, when Michelle and I are out there doing our gallivanting around and road tripping and the off-road riding that I do and the rides that we do together. And hey, we would just really appreciate that. So, yep, with all that being said, till the next one, this is Southern E-Biking telling you, stay safe, God bless, and keep the wheels rolling. Once again, we're out.